what can interim governments do? There isn't a whole lot that they can do, honestly. There was the idea, you know, some people in the on the previous interim government in Egypt were coming up with a big mega project that's going to cost $24 billion, taking Egypt away from the Nile and creating a whole world in the desert, sort of thing. Who are you to decide on a $24 billion project? What legitimacy do you have? Who gave you the mandate? Have you done all the verification that ensures that such a decision? So there are decisions, many decisions, as a matter of fact, that interim governments cannot do. So what I am suggesting to the Egyptian government in the interim period are three things. One, first of all, do no harm. Don't blunder too much. Just make sure that things are happening, but not excessively so. Don't really overdo it in any direction. You have weeks and maximum months to stay in office. And this is the period when you really should not be taking major decisions. So that's one. Second thing that I suggest that they do is, if you want to do economics, do politics. Don't do economics. Because as far as I am concerned, in the short run, the real recovery is not going to come from economic policies. The real recovery is going to come from two things. One is getting security. People have to feel secure to begin with. If I have a factory, I want to make sure that the factory is not going to be burned, or people are going to go on strike, or if I am walking on the street, buying something or selling something. Anyway, security is the name of the game, and it's not fully there yet. The second one, which is not less important, is what I would call the political roadmap for reform. We keep talking about, actually, I think in that sense, probably Tunisia is doing a little better than Egypt, because at least they have a roadmap that they seem to be agreeing on. In the Egyptian case, we do have a vague political map that we don't have consensus around. So you're going to have parliamentary elections, and then supposedly the parliament will pick up the committee or the commission that would write the constitution. And God knows, if you get the wrong majority in parliament, you get the wrong constitution, and the country lives on for the next 20 years trying to fix what was done in the first phase. So lack of a political roadmap, not only it is costly in the sense I have just described, it's costly in another way. It's costly because when people are not certain about the future, nobody takes any decision either. On the economic front, no investors will come back, no tourists will be coming back, no, not only foreign investment, but even domestic investors. So my suggestion to them is, if you want to fix your economics, do deal with security and do deal with a political roadmap that most people can live with and feel comfortable with. And then the third thing I also suggest to them is that you may actually want a few actions that will help pave basically prepare the process for takeoff down the road. For instance, labor and wages is a big issue. Well, okay, don't change it right now. I mean, just study or commission or get a few people to sit around the table, discuss it, get a Brookings report to be discussed in public forum, get people to talk about what needs to be done and how it could be done and which way it should be done, sort of thing. And that is just but one example. But that's basically what I suggest in the short run. In the medium run, the story is a very simple one. Again, if your main objectives are growth with equity, on the growth, the big thing is, and this is something that I worry about a little bit, there is some sort of a backlash. Again, it's private sector, liberalization, and opening up. The biggest mistake we could do is that we reverse that. We go from fully growth and no distribution to distribution with no growth. Actually, you will be distributing poverty. So in a way, the first thing we need to do fundamentally is to capitalize on past achievements, build on them, and then make sure that we are adding the second pillar, which is how do you deal with issues of equality, of equal opportunities, of access to good education, good health, good social safety net, and the rest of it. That is essentially the formula.